So it is a fabulous project, very ambitious in terms of civil engineering as well as architecture. The ambition, though, for us educationally was to provide a campus where young people had everything they needed to explore their talents and interests, where those talents and interests lie, and then take those talents and interests towards mastery.
Right.
And we're fully residential, very deliberately so, because a lot more can be learned in a fully residential setting. It means that we can make the most of the co and extracurricular opportunities that we provide. We rest our educational philosophy on that which is used in Shrewsbury in the UK. So we have something called the Floriat, which is an old-fashioned English word for flourishing. So the ambition is to produce a context where all of the pupils can flourish. So we're looking to balance their education across 4 dimensions, the intellective, the active, the expressive, and the reflective. That's a lot to do with making sure that they understand how to make the most of their talents and interests. But we do that at the same time as advocating for the Salopian way. And within that, we have 6 virtues that we look for. So kindness, wisdom, integrity, self-mastery, courage, and spirit.
Wow.
So really it's a combination of those two that let our young people really work out what their purpose is and to have a good confidence in their own identity, what they stand for. But most importantly, I think from my perspective, is we are looking to inculcate in them a genuine passion for contributing beyond themselves.
How do you see your school or this philosophy standing the test of time in today's day and age?
Some of the words may be traditional. What we do is progressive, I would say. We are committed to educating our pupils in how to learn. And part of that education is about how do you make the most of the technology. But there's also big chunks of it which are orientated towards adaptability. So I'm a head teacher who wants the young people who leave my school to be armed with the skills, habits and attitudes of a very proficient, enthusiastic and effective lifelong learner. And part of that is understanding how to make the most of technology, including AI. So it's not about prescribing the AI at all. It's about recognizing that it's there, making the most of it in the approach we have to teaching. And certainly I'll be encouraging my teachers to use it because I think there's real value in the way that it can personalize learning.
Right.
But I'm also committed to making sure that the pupils and the teachers have the time and the space to enter into learning dialogues. Learning is a social activity, so that it is about really understanding where pupils got to in their learning, and then understanding how to improve on that by providing individual feedback, but doing so in a way which is much more discursive than perhaps you or I encountered at school. And if you do that and ensure that the young people understand how to get better and check to make sure they're acting on that advice, and to be fair, check to make sure the advice is working, actually you have a very, very powerful environment for learning.
Right.
In terms of infrastructure, we have the state-of-the-art technology, but we want to make sure there is that time and space. So our teacher to pupil ratio is what, on average, we're aiming for 1 to 8.
Wow.
That's really where we make sure that the dialogue is there.
Right.
Each of our pupils will also have a personal tutor, and the personal tutor will look after eight students from across age groups. They may or may not be the pupil's teacher, but they will be a teacher at the school.
Wow.
And they are looking not just at the academics across all the subjects, but also how the pupil is getting on in terms of the co and extracurricular, and in the boarding environment. So that personal tutor will be a visiting tutor in the boarding house as well.
Wow.
So the personal tutor is responsible for making sure that each pupil is getting just the right amount of challenge, not too much, not too little, and that there's balance in the education they're receiving across those 4 dimensions, the intellective, the active, the expressive, and the reflective.
Wow.
And the young people are thinking hard about virtues what their personal purpose in life will be. And I just love that Ikigai. It's just brilliant. I was introduced to it by Alfreda Ali at the Free Press Journal. And actually, I'm going to be introducing it into our educational philosophy as a really good way of expressing the importance of going through a sort of systematic process of identifying what you're good at, what you love doing, and really making sure that you understand what it is that the world needs, but perhaps most importantly, understanding what the world's prepared to pay you. So,
true, fascinating. I mean, it's more of an art than a science, right?
You know, absolutely, that's absolutely right. And I'm a maths teacher among other subjects, but I've often reflected that maths is quite an art as well, and at times we forget that there is a creative aspect to mathematics. There's a creative aspect to scientific thinking, and actually that needs to be encouraged in the maths classroom and the physics laboratory as well.